Hi guys, this is Andrew with rockclass101.com. Today we're going to be learning how to play the theme to Halloween, and this is from the classic movie from the 70s with Michael Myers, one of my favorites. And the theme song has a cool use of a motif, which is just a repeating pattern or a phrase of notes. So that's going to be our motif throughout this entire tune, and you can see that it just keeps modulating down a half step, or even farther. It just modulates down as it goes on, and what that helps to do is it builds tension, and that's what's really, really cool about this tune, because it works great for a horror movie to really build that suspense. So this is going to be part one of the lesson, and in part one we're going to be learning the intro, the A melody, and the B melody. And in part two, if you want to continue learning, we're going to be learning the C melody, the D melody, and the outro. So basically part one is half of the tune, and if you guys want to get part two, check it out on rockclass101.com. You can also get the complete tabs to follow along with, as well as access to the on-screen tab viewer, which lets you hit play and watch the tab scroll across in real time with the performance on this YouTube video. So let's go ahead and get started with the intro. So the first part, what we're going to do is going to be playing just a few notes. And what's really important for this song is that we're actually going to be playing in 5/4. So that means that we've got 5 beats per measure, right? Instead of normal 1, 2, 3, 4, the next measure we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So keep that in mind too as you're playing. And if you're trying to count along going 1, 2, 3, 4 and you get confused, that's because we're in 5. Okay? So the first part's going to be our ring finger on the 9th fret of string 1 and our index finger on the 7th fret of string 2. Basically all that I'm going to do is I'm going to go, I'll call out string number 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. Okay, so that goes twice, right? 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. And then I'm going to go 1, 2, and then put my pinky on 10 on string 1. And again, I'm going to go 1, 2. So we have, okay? And usually throughout this performance, I think I was doing 2nd and 1st finger. So you could try that out, right? Or you could even do like index finger and thumb for right now, or middle finger and thumb, whatever is most comfortable. But I would recommend these 2 fingers as we go along, because we're going to be adding some of the bass notes to the chords and to the melody. We're going to need our thumb for that coming up. So our intro is just that. It's going to go 4 times. Right? And if I slow it down, it'll just be. So the rhythm is really simple too, guys. It's all 8th notes. We just got to count all the way to 5. So if we count it together, we have 4, 5, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and. Okay? So just very simple. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and. So straight up 8th notes. And that's pretty much how the majority of this arrangement will go, up until we get to that D melody where it's a bit of strumming that I added. So going into the next part, and one thing I want to mention, when I transition from like the A's to the B's, or in some of the chords in the song to the next part, generally I'm going to leave out that last note. So check this out. This is what I mean. So you see how I cut out the very last note. So I ended on that 10, which bought me just a little bit more time to get a cleaner and smoother change to the next part, right? So as you're going through this arrangement, feel free to leave out that last note before the next chord happens. You know, something like that. It doesn't have to be on every one, But if it's a bigger change, you guys can just leave out that last note, and it'll give you a little bit more time to get your fingers in place for the next chord. So keep that in mind too. So going into the A melody, our first chord is just going to be a B5. And basically what we're doing is we're taking the same shape, we're just going to use different fingers for that first part. So where your index was, your middle finger will be. So that's 7th fret on string 2, and your pinky's on 9 on string 1 now. So we're going to add our index finger to 6 on string 3. And we strum down 3 to 1. That's our first chord, a B5, just a power chord. And again, guys, it's the same pattern. The only difference is you add that strum. Okay? So we have that same phrase for the first bar, for the A melody. So the second bar for the A melody is going to be moving your index finger to that 7th fret of string 4. And we're going to pluck this. So we're just going to pluck 4, 3, and 2. And then it's going to repeat that same pattern. So watch how I'll go from the first bar for A. Then I'm going to move this index finger up, and I'm in the second chord for the A melody, and this is a B minor. But all the same picking pattern on the first 2 strings remains the same. Okay? And then it's just going to literally move down a half step, right? So you go down a half step from that from the second chord, and you do the same thing. So now we're literally just playing a B flat minor. But one thing that's important to note is that when we go from the second one, B minor, remember we left off on our pinky up a half step, right? So when you move down a half step, you move down a half step with index and middle finger to the 6th fret, but your pinky was on 10. It's got to move down a whole step, and it's got to go to 8, right? Because remember, we start down on that fret before we move up the half step for that last, second to last melody note. So if I go from B minor, see I'm on 10, going down a half step with index and middle finger, and a whole step with pinky. And then you can see how it moves up, right, for that last one. And the convenient part about this is it repeats. So when you transition back, you can keep that pinky in place. So let's go over it again. So we're looking at bar 3, guys. This is B5 for the first bar of the A melody. Right? Then the second one, we move our index up to the 4th string. Then down. And this one's going to repeat twice, but the second time, you're just going to play the melody. Okay, so let me put those 4 bars together. This is the A melody. Okay, so that's basically how the A melody goes. And the thing that's tricky with this arrangement is that it's got so much of reliance on your pinky finger. So generally your pinky finger is the weakest finger on your picking or your fretting hand. So try and make it even, try and make it equal in strength to the other fingers. And this is a great tune to work on pinky strength. Alright, so we're basically done with the A melody, and now we're going to go and transition into the B melody. And the cool thing about the B melody is that if you know the A melody, you know the B melody. What does that mean? It means that it's the same thing that you just played. You literally just keep modulating down. And we're just going to go down another half step. So if you think of the last one, we left off on B flat minor. We left off on that one. We're just going to go down another half step and then switch it back to the first chord shape. So you're back into that power chord, and this is an A5. So this A5 is going to be frets 4, 5, 7 on strings 3, 2, and 1. right? So the pattern's the same, guys. We're gonna strum, play the melody, and then move up to the 5th fret of string 4, pluck, then down a half and your pinky down a whole. You pluck that one, and then the second time was just by itself, right? And that repeats twice. And that's basically it. So let me go ahead and play all the way through slowly. What we have the intro, the A melody, and the B melody. And remember that the A and the B have repeats twice, and the intro has a repeat 4 times. And the intro is just the melody by itself, so it's... Remember, you can cut off on that last note, give you enough time to transition. So you play the second to last note, hang on that, transition for the A melody, we have that B5. Same thing, I can cut off on that last note, transition back. Okay, and that's what we get, guys. So we have the intro, the A, and the B melody. So if you enjoyed this lesson and you want to learn the rest of it and get the assets for this lesson, which include the tab and the on-screen tab viewer, you can go to rockclass101.com, check out premium membership, and you get all of that as well as access to every other song that we have in the Ukulele Song series. So hope to see you guys in class. Thanks!